Eat this, drink that, go.
The wait times of the HCA East Florida Hospital emergency rooms average in the single digits, less than 10 minutes. Just go to hcaeastflorida.com. They list all their wait times for all the emergency rooms there, and they update those times every 30 minutes. You'll be ready in case of an emergency. That's hcaeastflorida.com, because emergencies do not wait for appointments. What a great concept and a great addition to South Florida. A new place, a new wine bar boutique called Domaine Souviour Wine Bar Boutique at 5760 Sunset Boulevard in South Miami.
My end of town.
And this, yeah, it is your town. And this is something that is Domaine Souviour is a wine and olive oil producer. It's located in Provence, on the hillside in Provence, and they've taken up this new residence in this wonderful place here in South Florida. And the food and wine pairings are spectacular. You'll learn not by taking a class, but by tasting their wines, tasting their olive oils, and by eating some great food, because the chef right next to us is Chef C.R. DeFuoco. And boy, does that look great, Chef. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
What are you making? That looks so good.
This is a Dauphinoise gratin.
Nice, Shiva.
So it's very much so like a southern French specialty. It's like a home cooking kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, potatoes poached in milk and garlic, and then recooked in creme fraiche and heavy cream inside.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It's quite gluttonous,
No.
but it is delicious.
It does bring you back to Provence. It really does.
Yeah.
When I go there, it'll be small plates, different types of pairings. How do you do it?
It's very common in many restaurants in Provence, especially wine oriented, especially at the chateaus, anywhere that you're, when you go to like your different your vineyards, where it's tapas style.
Right.
You know, there's not a lot of large plates. It's
Right.
you know, smaller bites that are intended specifically to enhance your experience. So the wine plays its role, the food plays its role, and together they're great. Or one, you know, apart they're great, but together they're a completely different experience.
Right.
So that's the idea.
This is what you would expect out of a wine bar or wine boutique in France. It's not one that you'd find in America, basically.
That's exactly right.
Which is one of the great things. They're open, by the way, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Brenda, open at 11 a.m. Love that about them, too.
Love that.
Closed on Sundays.
That's just getting our wine glasses
Yeah, well,
ready.
good, thank you. But you can learn more on Instagram and Facebook at Souviour Wine Bar. Let me spell it for you. SOUVIOU, all right? You'll learn more about it as we go. You're going to be hearing a lot about this place. Small production wines. Tell me about that. Are they all Provence wines?
So they are all from the Provence area for sure. Specifically, the ones you have in front of you, we have our Blanc, which is the smallest amount of wine produced in Provence, are your whites,
Right.
especially in the Bandol region. Bandol is primarily rosés and reds. As they also are a region that has a lot of different controls and restrictions.
Right.
But that Blanc is absolutely phenomenal. Nothing you'll notice is a light wine. This is a 14% white, so it's got lots of character. It's got legs. It's a very high quality
And so
wine.
do you recommend what you pair with what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like what would you pair with that?
So specifically the Bandol Blanc, that's going to go really well with those scallops, because it's got 65% claret. So when you have 65% claret, it's a grainier mouthfeel.
Right.
So it pairs really well with any kind of seafood, anything salty.
And that would be this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that gorgeous? Look
It's
at
got
that.
the porcini mushrooms, butter, of course, scallops, parsley. It's been braised also in Sauterne, which is another French-style, sweeter dessert wine.
I'll tell you, this is an outstanding looking dish, and something that, you're right, that looks like a homemade dish in the cast iron skillet. Just absolutely beautiful. And that's going to pair beautifully with?
So this is going to go really well with our Coastal Provence Domaine 2017, all the way to your right.
All the way to the right.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's a lighter rosé in comparison. Primarily, you get more of your peach notes, it's a little bit fruitier. There's not a lot of residual sugar, so it's still not sweet, but it's going to lend some of the sweeter flavors to the Dauphinoise that you're not going to get directly.
Right. You know, Provence, the bottlings, for example, just by themselves, you can pick them out of a wine bar, just by looking at the bottlings of a Provence wine. And sitting there, I can still remember going through 2 bottles of wine, just like it was nothing. It was the most delicious wine I'd ever had in my life.
And they're light.
And they're lighter, but
Yeah.
again,
These are not so light.
this Bandol is a 14% alcohol.
Yes.
It's the white. What should we open, Chef? What should we start
To
with?
start, I would say with that Domaine, that's a great way to begin.
Here. Okay.
That way we're not going from a lighter wine to a heavier wine.
Right, right. But they're magnificent. Again, if you're just joining us, it's Domaine Souviour Wine Bar Boutique.
Souviour.
Souviour.
Souviour. It's 5760 Sunset
Old
Drive in
Sage.
South Miami. So it's a great location. South Miami has really become a great big place to be able to enjoy.
Yeah, quite a culinary scene is growing in
Right,
South Miami.
Yeah.
Right. But is this a 15-minute segment? Or
Yes, it
10?
is.
It's a 15-minute segment. All right,
Yep.
got it. Anyway, open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And it just, they make their own olive oil there too as well, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got one right here. Let me just go ahead and do this so we can get started.
And you do olive oil tastings as well?
Yes, ma'am. Sure do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we don't.
You know, we went to one in Temecula.
An
once.
olive oil tasting, yes.
Yeah.
Although
Which
somehow
was
I think
fascinating.
somehow
Yeah.
I think the olive oil tasting from Provence
From
is a
Provence
little
is gonna be
different
a lot
than it would be
different.
from Temecula, California.
It is. You're not even allowed to taste wine the wrong way in France. The tasting glasses are completely different
Are they?
than a glass of wine.
Right.
So whenever you come to the boutique, some people will find it a little bit like peculiar because you get these small little glasses and you're like, oh, is there any way I can get a larger glass? I'm like,
Right.
well, you can after we teach you
After
how to
you
taste
How to taste it.
because it is going to change everything. Because
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for opening this place in my end of town.
And I think this is exactly what South Florida needed.
Yeah.
South Miami needed this kind of an element. This is gorgeous wine, by the way. Just
Yes,
wonderful. And
that
you
is a
said, Chef,
wonderful
this would pair
rosé.
beautifully with the scallops?
With this?
so this, although it can stand up to the scallops for sure, it goes really well
With
with
that.
the Dauphin
Okay.
nose.
All right. We got about 4 minutes left. Is that correct? So we'll go ahead. In fact, we can keep you through that. We got 10 minutes left. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. I was going to say, I was worried about this. I knew we had more time than that. I'm happy about that. I'm so glad.
And these wines are yours too, so afterward.
I just want to
this is all for you
sit here and
drink up.
smell everything.
I know.
You don't have to do anything. Just let me smell everything.
all
and I'm
that
happy
French.
can be. I can imagine that the wine boutique smells wonderfully when you walk in the door.
Well, it does. Although my commercial kitchen is off-site, off of 79th, not too far from here.
Right.
And that's where all my primary production is done, with raw foods and whatnot. And then, much like any other, fine dining restaurant, all your work is in the prep, and
Right.
then all your, your service is literally just built.
Putting it together.
Yeah,
Right.
you build it together, and it's already at a certain temperature, and then you serve it, and that way, because when you prepare food at a high level, it's going to preserve its composition.
Right, exactly. I'll grab some more wine glasses. What should we open next? And you tell us what we're going to open.
So the Blanc, that way you
Blanc,
can go in
okay.
and get in some of the scallops.
Grab some. Yeah, that'd be absolutely wonderful. I'm fascinated by this bottle of wine.
It is so good.
Yeah, I've always liked wines from the Mando region, and I don't think I've ever had a Blanc from there. Which
Well,
is
what's
wonderful.
nice about this is it's so whenever you kind of write down wines, its flavor profile, you
Right.
talk about its mouthfeel. This one in particular has more of a grittier mouthfeel. Usually it's silky or velvety. This one's a little bit
Gritty.
grittier. It's because it's a high tannin because of the claret,
Right.
and then it's got 20% Blanc, and so those are high tannin wine. Grapes, those varietals are gonna produce a heavier wine. So with that being said, it creates more of, not gritty is the wrong word, but it's very close. And with that being said, you get the
Is
pear
that too
flavor.
high?
I'll bring it down a little bit.
Going ahead and expanding your palate with this kind of a product is wonderful.
Well, part of pairing food and wine is, when you consider, and thank you, sir, an educated palate. An educated palate just means that you have eaten more things.
Yeah.
Because when
Isn't that true?
when you're drinking wine, you're trying to figure out what am I tasting? What am I tasting? Well, I've made so much stuff that when I drink, I can break down so many other characters that the more food you eat, the more food you're gonna be able to do the same to.
Right.
And so when I'm like, oh man, I'm tasting black cardamom and a little bit of undergrowth and this and that. They're like, I'm tasting something I didn't know
It's
that's
like
what
that
it was
big
though.
box that they used to have of the different wine tasting, things that you were going to
Right.
Oh, here you are.
Oh, thank you.
experience.
Absolutely.
Boy, these look beautiful
Thank
too.
you.
The scallop shells, and again, you've got porcini mushrooms in here as well?
Yeah, there's porcini, shallots, garlic, white wine, sauternes, parsley, thyme, all the traditional Provençal style herbs and flavors.
And with the Blanc, it's terrific.
Oh, isn't it
The
beautiful?
Mando, it's terrific with it.
Well, because you need whenever you have a scallop, you have any kind of fish dish.
And I like that they're cut into little pieces. I like that.
Well, just like anything, it allows you it fall across your palate instead of a single bite.
Right.
It's marvelous.
And what are the hours again?
So we're open from
11 a.m. to
11
11
a.m.
p.m.
right to 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Right, and on Sundays they're closed.
Correct.
Again, let me give you the address. It's because people come in and out of the car all the time. Domaine, Souviour, Wine Bar Boutique, 5760 Sunset Drive, South Miami. They specialize in Provence with wonderful wines from that area and from Chateau Souviour, which is there in Provence, and olive oils too. So you're going to try a lot of these different things and be able to enjoy them. Kind of small place, more tapas style things, and they'll help you with the pairing, and you'll really learn a lot by going there, which I like about
How many
that, too.
different wines do you have?
So we currently have 12, but we're awaiting, as you know, harvest is right now.
Right.
So we're about to have, we bought another Domaine, d'Azur, which is an extremely well-known domain in France and Europe. Never been imported to America, much like the Palette, which we carry as well. And so we're about to get some really special stuff.
Nice.
And yeah,
See, that's another wonderful element. I like going places where I can't get that product anyplace else.
Right.
well, and
right.
thus boutique.
Right.
You know, wine
That's
bar
what it means.
boutique. A lot of
Right.
people don't understand. They think knickknacks in America, but
Right.
that's not what a boutique
Right. If I can go
is.
someplace and get a Mandavi glass of wine, well, I can get that just about any place. It's not a boutique.
Exactly right.
But if I can find these kinds of products there, what have you just plated, Chef?
All right,
That's
so
beautiful.
these are a very traditional tart in France and Provence. It's wild mushrooms, cream, garlic, white wine. Simple, delicious. Wild mushroom tarts, absolutely great.
It all comes down to that wonderful pastry that you put together. I mean,
Puff pastry.
that's what it comes down to, right? I mean, it's got to be done extraordinarily well,
That's
or
true.
you're not going to get that kind of a Provence flavor to it, a French flavor.
And everything plays a role.
There's nothing. One of my favorite places in the world is Provence. If you've never been, and if you can't get there, just go to Domaine Souviour here in South Miami. Oh man, that's marvelous.
Just delicious, right? So simple, so delicious.
But it's the ingredients, you know. It's the
course.
flakiness of the pastry, and the wonderful ingredients that you put in there. Isn't that delicious?
Wonderful.
Just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, by the way, the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau bringing you through September both Miami Hotel Month and Miami Spice Month. Miami Hotel Month, discover amazing deals, participating hotels for staycations and vacations and group meetings. MiamiHotelMonths.com is where you can find all the participating hotels. And Miami Spice Month goes all the way through September. 3-course meals for lunch and for dinner, $23 for lunch, $39 for dinner. Just wonderful. Find all of it at MiamiTemptations.com. I like that too.
That is beauteous.
It is. Isn't that delicious and
Yeah.
gorgeous and wonderful? Chef, I don't know what I like better.
I know.
And the wines are magnificent. This Bandol, the white, is wonderful.
I love the rosé.
Chef, there's a second rosé
Yeah.
Yes,
that's a little stronger.
it's not.
I
It
mean,
is
more,
stronger.
more fruit forward kind of a thing.
It's not more. Well, all right. So it's a different kind of wine. It's a bundle.
Okay.
So whenever you go to and you get a Costa Provence wine, it's gonna be your lighter flavors, your white peaches
Right,
and
right, right.
whatnot. Whereas when you get into a Bandol,
This for the red. For
this specifically is only a 3-grape blend, so it's gonna be 40% Cinsault, 30% Mourvedre, and then 30% Grenache. So it's a heartier grape, so
Yeah.
it's
Right.
more viscous. You're gonna get
it's heavier than a normal
For sure.
rosé when it's a.
and that's
yeah,
another
it was-
14. This is a 14% alcohol rosé.
And I would imagine this red that I'm opening, we're going to try with that beautiful dish that you just played.
You're absolutely right.
Okay. And tell me about the dish and then about this wine. We've got about a minute and a half left.
Okay, so this is a braised beef back rib. So an oftentimes thrown away, discarded piece of a cut is one of the most phenomenal things on the planet to cook. Yeah, it takes 6-7 hours to cook, but when you braise it in white wine and then you pull all that fat and tendon out, you're just left with a masterpiece of flavor. And then you add your traditional flavors, your marjoram, your thyme.
Chef, I'm not sure if I'm bringing the
what I
right
thought.
glasses out, but you know what? At this
Well,
stage,
you know what? It has
it's
it has
so
a little
wonderful.
Cabernet in that Costa Provence.
Oh,
so it
good,
works
because that's
just
a
fine.
Cabernet glass.
Exactly
I
right.
knew the chef would know it. And Brenda, have you tried that beautiful dish that he
I
put in front
have,
of you?
and it is wonderful.
Well, Chef, thank you so
Absolutely.
much. What a
Thank
pleasure
you
to meet
so
you.
much for being
I'm so
here.
glad
Thanks
you,
for having me
again.
you educated us without even thinking we were learning stuff.
I
You know,
know.
it's just fun.
That's the
Yeah.
experience. That's what
the
we're
idea.
doing.
We're going to come back in a minute. We've got what to do. We got things to give
We're
away.
going to wrap it up, and we're going to give it away. Yes, we're giving away from the South Florida Luxury Guide.
We'll do that right next.
Battle
Eat
of the
this, drink
Chefs.
that, go.
Go.